So
Yeah, let's hope.
so I told Kevin, I was like, it'll be like the guy that has the party, invites everybody, and nobody shows up. I'll just sit here and Zoom by myself. How's your week been?
um, busy.
Good.
I'm busy at work, and then had a little medical procedure yesterday. Back at work. Um, so I'm hanging in there.
Good. Yeah, well, it's good to be busy too, because I've seen a lot of people talking about how slow they've been kind of this month overall. So you're in Minnesota, is that right?
I am. Where are you at?
Actually in Illinois, not too far out from St. Louis.
So, do you actually own your own repair shop?
Uh, some
Or you just
partners
work
might.
for repair vendors?
Yeah, so I guess in a sense, yes, I'm a partner with my friend who I don't do anything with it, really. I'm just kind of I have my office here. I help him with, any business side of things, but as far as the shop, he's 100%, the tech, the manager, the owner, the face, he does everything. I don't He comes to me if he needs help with anything, and I kind of handle just like the back end business stuff on that side.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's kind of nice to have
yeah.
somebody that knows the business side of things. Probably the biggest, hardest part of getting into this business is figuring out how you're supposed to do everything when you maybe have never taken a business course in your life. Um,
Yep, agreed. Yeah, so he was always a computer tech as far as just always did it on the side and stuff like that, but never really had anything going on as far as a long-term future job or anything. So we were
sure.
talking one time and I was needing an office because I was working remote. I was like, well, why don't we open a shop? It's like, I'll help you. I was like, I'll show you how to fix phones. Like, that's what you have to. I was like, you can't survive on just computers, but I was like, that helps.
You can.
You can, but
I've done it.
even,
I'm doing it.
yeah.
My computer is probably, my shop is probably like 75, 80% computers.
We do a lot. We definitely do a lot. Our population is only like 6,000 people.
The
We don't
thing
have any
is
competition though.
computer techs don't know phones, and phone
No.
techs don't know computers.
Yeah, so it was
That is the problem.
agreed. That's why a lot of shops don't do computer repairs because they were phone repair when they started. They never, ventured out to do that. So it was interesting teaching him the opposite of going from computers to phones, but also still doing computers. So it's been
Yep.
good though.
So I quickly, when I got into this, I got people asking me about phones, and I was like, well, let's see what I can do. I pull up some iFixit guides and articles, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. Well, of course, then when somebody started bringing me like their really expensive tablets and phones, I started to panic a little because I was like, I don't really want to break anybody's stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out exactly um what I'm doing here. And so that's when I
Right.
joined Cell Biotics, and
Okay.
I went to Nicole's class, and luckily got one of probably her last classes that she was teaching. I mean, she had other trainers there, but it was
Right.
one that she was very hands on with, and um I think she had done a couple more before she kind of passed the light off to somebody else. But so I got taught by somebody that was really knowledgeable in that area and really was able to give me the tools that I needed to succeed. And like I said, I'd already kind of started it, so I kind of had a little bit of an idea. But she's definitely able to break things down and make it a little bit more easier. And so now it's not so bad. Also, what I recommended about that is just there's so many tools and uh, so many different gadgets in
Yeah,
our industry that are a complete waste of money.
I agree.
That I'm just like, God, I wish somebody had told me don't ever buy this. Like, I'm just sitting here with a pile of crap that I'm just like never going to use and that I have never used on a repair.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I wish I had never like, and there's certain things that I'm like, I wish I had invested in that earlier, So there are some good ones, but then there's just like ones that are just complete wastes of money. And most of them are the programmers that people vouch for, and they say, oh, buy this programmer and do that programmer and this programmer. I'm like, I've got probably 3 or 4 programmers that I have never used on a repair and never needed to.
Yep. That seems to be the consensus. I mean, I think overall it's, especially when you're first getting into it, you're trying to make sure you have everything you think you need. So then you're buying extra stuff or like, oh, I'll need this. And then, like you said, you end up not using it because you find a different method of, doing that repair for whatever reason, depending on what the tool is. But yeah,
Well, and
there's
some of
definitely
those programmers don't really make sense, or I feel like they're kind of dishonest in a way. Like it's a way of like cheating the repair
like,
and not
like
actually
copying the
repairing it.
serial. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like you're like cheating the repair and you're not actually doing a repair. You're just it's like cheating the system. It's like and that's kind of like and using the what you don't learn is like using those tools is what Apple is truly trying to prevent. So
Yeah. Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey man, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, just hanging out. Like I told Laura, I was like, I was telling Kevin earlier, I was like, I had a bunch of interest in it, but it's like it'll end up being like the guy that has the party, invites everybody, and nobody shows up. I'll just be sitting in Zoom by myself. So yeah,
You
we're just
should you
hanging
should have
out,
sent out like
chatting.
snacks or something.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, obviously
should have got
the
some
time.
gift cards for a barbecue for everybody with that barbecue you
Yeah,
teased
that
in that photo.
that barbecue was the first thing I saw. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was Dallas barbecue, so can't go wrong with
nice,
that. Yeah.
sweet.
Yes. Yeah. So, but scheduling stuff with shops, I know it's hard. Everybody's days are different, times are different, time zones, and oh, we got somebody else coming in. But days, everything changes. People say they want to kind of hop in and join, and they get busy. So,
That's true.
not gonna complain if people are busy. Rather that than be slow and sitting around waiting for something. So, hey, Cedric, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. Just hanging out. We're seeing if anybody really joins and you know hang out and talk, anything like that. Where are you based out of?
I'm in Dallas.
Speaking of, I was just talking about barbecue from Dallas, so there you go. You get to enjoy it every day.
Yeah, I had to stay away from it. Otherwise, we may have some health concerns down the line.
Nice. What's the
Yeah, it's
name of your
really
shop?
good. I might have to drop some more pictures in the group message.
No, yeah, yeah. You'll make everybody hungry. Get in trouble. What's the name of your shop, Cedric?
Sorry. I don't know.
Oh, you're all right. What's new, Rob? What's going on in the tech care space?
Just trying to get stuff going. We're working on some new partnerships. So hopefully have some more info on that before the end of the year.
Yeah. prepaid good for you? You guys have quite a bit
Yeah, I
luck
met
and
this. In fact, dude I was talking to this week. I don't know if you met him. Coverage Map. Gosh, what's the name of the? He's got a pretty cool coverage map of the U.S. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll share the link.
I didn't specifically talk to him, but it doesn't mean that they didn't come by the booth and talk to somebody else. So
Yeah, he was at the show just kind of checking it out, but he and his buddy built this pretty cool crowdsourced coverage map of the cellular carriers and data speeds. I think that's one of the main things he's doing is like, users can test data speed and then they upload that so people know like who has the best data speeds in each market.
smart. It's probably I'm surprised it's not already being done, but
Yeah, he
kind
told
of
me
a
somebody else had been doing it, and I was like, I remembered the name, but you know how it is in this business. It's like, people always doing stuff. Here, I'm gonna post it. Boom. There we go.
map.com. Man, that's probably a nice little domain purchase too, I'm sure.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's a cool little tool though. I mean, it kind of combines some stuff that's already out there. Like I think they pull down FCC data in some of their coverage maps and some of the other like public resources, but they put it all in one place. And then the app they're working on is allows you to do, speed checks on your carrier, and then you can post the results automatically to their site. So yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's different
Yeah,
data. It's what sells. So
there you
somebody will
go.
buy it. That's for
There you
sure.
go.
They know what they're doing.
Yep.
Laura, with your computer stuff, do you do or offer anything like on-site or like business services or anything?
Yeah, so when I started out, I had to quickly define exactly what I wanted to do. And so I was doing on-site stuff, but um, I definitely had to create some support boundaries because I was one person and I could only do so much. And I learned that really wanted to do the break fix versus the MSP stuff, but I did want to bring in a hybrid model to the MSP model, but for the residential side and small businesses that couldn't afford an actual MSP like level contract. And so I created a managed care program where and this is really what launched my business is I created a program that allowed me to charge an annual fee. I charged between there's two levels. There's one at 200 and then there's one at 300 a month, 300 a year. And it renews annually. And it basically covers antivirus protection on their computers and ongoing Windows and drivers updates. And then just some like discounts on accessories and on-site visits. And then remote support on the larger plan. And so I help customers out in that regard. And then I do a lot of that. And thankfully, the way I've designed the plans is that I've never been abused. I've never gotten calls like every other day for issues. Once in a while, you get a customer that's having kind of has an ongoing issue. It takes a couple of days to resolve, but once it's resolved, you never hear from them. And then I've got so far close to 100, if not somewhere between 90 and 100 customers, clients, not just computers, but clients on that program. And that's over 3 years. And we're
That's
talking
awesome.
at $300 a pop a year, between 200 to 300 a pop per customer per device. Yeah, I'm probably raking in between 20 to 30 grand annually in just recurring revenue.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
I like
So
it.
that alone has just that's just my bread and butter. And of course
Yeah,
that's not including the other repairs, the screen repairs, keyboards, the SSD upgrades, the custom computer builds, things like that. I've also really gotten into um selling computers, refurbished and pre-owned computers. I don't really have the capital, surprisingly, unfortunately, to stock my store full of computers. Um, not like some stores have been able to do, but I've been really able to somehow swing it where I can get customers to buy computers sight unseen and do pre-orders. So
Nice.
I must have really good sales techniques. I don't know,
Do
but
you,
somehow customers do it.
for your like what like if you sell some, do you have many people wanting MacBooks, or do you with computer repair do you see a lot more just PCs?
So I do live in a pretty predominant, I would say this is a pretty good Mac community, but and I have had some people buy MacBooks, but A, they have to have the budget for it, and B, they have to be a Mac user already. And so there's a kind of a flip to that. And then see the thing is it's harder to get, I think, a Mac user to buy a refurbished Mac because as a Mac user, you are expected to already have the money to buy a Mac,
Yep.
and most of them do. And so they're like, oh, I'll just go get a MacBook Air. I'll go get a MacBook Pro, for a few hundred extra bucks and it's brand new. Whereas I'm like, well, we can get you something a little bit more specced out. That's, it's still going to be a lot, but we can get it a little bit more specced out so you get a little bit more value for your money. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, and it'd be worth it. But so I do get some of those, but I probably sell more laptops and regular laptops and desktops. I'm really good at selling the micro Dell Optiplexes.
Yep.
Like my residential customers just love those things because they're just such space savers. And so most of them don't need graphics cards and all these fancy features on them. So, and then of course, occasionally I got it, like just recently, I would say in the last year, I really got into the PC gaming world and building custom rigs. And of course, I'm having a lot of fun with that myself.
It can become an
I get,
addiction.
well, I have one micro center in my state. It's about 3 hours away. But if I get
Right.
lucky and I get a customer that comes in and is like, hey, I want to build a computer, and I'm like, great, let's see what I can get you. And then I get to go down to Micro Center and buy all the parts. It's like a kid in a candy store.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about the same as ours. We have every once in a while maybe like a used lower end MacBook that somebody wants. Like you said, they know what they want. They're not coming in and just saying, "Oh, yeah, I see you have a MacBook. I want to buy it." They're already a Mac user. We're more into low price, $200-ish Windows laptop, $300 maybe for a desktop. We sell a lot of the micro PCs that you're talking about, and the
So,
gaming, or just custom basic computer, build $400-500 basic budget build as well.
well, you're going to be shocked to know that I don't sell a computer under $700.
I wish we could.
And I have sold i5 8th gen, 9th gen computers for $900.
So jealous.
I've sold 10th and 11th gens for $1,200.
That's awesome.
And it's all about marketing and a little bit of staging and some salesmanship. I have one part-time tech or assistant. She's not a tech, but she's my triage tech.
Okay.
And it's harder to, if I'm not the one here, it's definitely harder to sell the computer. But I get it because I back them with a 3-year warranty.
Wow. Okay.
In
That
store.
makes sense. You're providing value.
So I do provide the value on the back end. I'm also learned how recently, and I just added this, but of course everybody wants Microsoft Office. And then I was telling my customers, well, you got to buy it for yourself, and you got to put, you got to pay the, 70 bucks a month for, or a year for the subscription, or you got to pay $150 for, the annual, for the software. And so then I learned, I'm like, why am I doing that when I can just buy the license myself at 40 bucks a piece? And
Yep.
then I realized that there's a script out there that actually allows you to do it for free. So,
Even
which I would be
better.
happy to, I can share with anybody that wants to know. Yeah. So anyways, now I've started including the Microsoft Office Professional Suite into the with the computer build. Um, but most of the computers I buy, $300-400 a piece.
Yep.
So I'm definitely getting a good return on investment from that. But I partnered with a team that I get some of the computers on consignment, and so they send me 2 or 3 computers at a time. And I came across him. He was in an MSP group, and so
Okay.
a lot of people get computers from him, and he's got some great computers. Well, they back their computers with a 3-year warranty, and so that's what taught me about the 3-year warranty. And then, but when I looked at what he was charging for the computers compared to what I was able to find those models on eBay for, it was like, I'm like, holy cow, the markup on your computers is insane. I'm like, I can barely put a markup on mine. I'm like, I can make, maybe, 200-300 bucks off of it, if that. And so I was like, I mean, most people probably wouldn't even mark them up that high. They'd mark them up like 100 bucks and that was it. And I'm like, I got to make more money than this. I got to have way more markup because otherwise I'm never going to make anything off these computers. And so this is not worth it, me selling them. And so I started buying some of the computers my own off of eBay. And then I just add the 3-year warranty with it. And I was like, if I know how to buy a computer and test it and make sure it's all working, I should never have a problem.
Right. Yeah,
And
especially now with solid states, I feel like failure, that
yeah,
was the biggest failure point of old computers is the hard drive.
yeah. And you never really warranty a battery. So, but as long as the battery's in good condition when you install it, when you get the computer, you're fine. Um, and I think I've maybe ever had to ever warranty one computer in the 3 years that I've been opened. But so I've always, thankfully I've had
Awesome.
pretty good luck with that. But no, I do get customers that want the cheaper computers, and I will admit I am in a market where I'm in probably a higher end middle class market. So I'm definitely not in a market where people are just broke and it's
Yeah.
just really low income. I'm definitely in a higher income area. Um, I live in central Minnesota. I'm in Lake Country. People got cabins, second homes, $1 million homes. I mean, there's definitely some
Yeah.
lower income families around here for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, compared to the lower income families I've seen in other areas, it's just lower, it's really just, middle class, it's so we do have some, like I said, we do get some of those customers that are like on fixed incomes, elderlies and whatnot. They want the cheaper computers, but my stance is I'm never going to sell you a computer that I think is garbage, and I'm never going to sell you a computer that I feel like you're not going to get the lifespan out of.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to sell you a Chromebook, or I'm not going to sell you, a Celeron or Pentium computer that you're just going to end up having to replace in 2 or 3 years. Because at the end of the day, that's going to come back to haunt me
Yep.
as a business owner. They're going to say, "Oh, the computer, yeah, I got it from last time. It didn't last very long though. It kind of sucked. It was fast for maybe like 6 months, and then it just, And I'm like, well, yeah, that's because you paid $200-300 for a computer. It's like, what do you expect? But they're not going to look at it that way.
Hmm.
So anybody I've sold a computer to, they've always come back and bought more because um, the computers that I sell them are quality computers. They've got
Right.
good processors in them. So
That makes sense. Since you do a lot with computers, have you ever, I don't know, I'm for some reason I'm surprised nobody does this. Maybe somebody does, but I've always thought that depending on how big your
there,
shop
you
is,
gotta cut
or
out.
sorry, some people may do this, but I've always thought it'd be cool if you had a big enough shop or a place that you could kind of partner with as far as space, even if it's a library, but like hosting like a class for like older people on like basic stuff, whether it's like just saving passwords properly or not writing them down on a post-it or just like some basic stuff. I feel like the older generations would pay like good money just to have basic
That's
tutorials
probably
and
been my
tips and tricks.
biggest request in this community has been, hey, can you host a class? Do you host classes? I mean, since day one, I've opened my shop. It has probably been my biggest request, and I've shied away from it for one major reason, and that is everybody's on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how, I'm not a teacher.
Same.
So I don't know how to teach somebody. I get frustrated when I'm with my mom and I'm having to explain things to her. You know, I don't like, I do good on the one-on-ones, but just to teach like a general overview of a topic, I don't know. Everybody's on such a different wavelength. For me, it's
Yeah.
like I tell my customers, like, let's schedule a one-on-one session. You know, I'll charge you $75 for the hour. You come in with a list of things that you want to learn and goals that you're trying to achieve. Show me what exactly you're trying to do. Because when you're using a computer, it's all about intention. It's all
Yep.
about the purpose of it. You know, just using it, yeah, I could give you some better tips and things like that on how to generally better use your computer, but you won't retain it unless you're actually doing it on a
Yep.
consistent basis. And for me, it's like, when I first started with computers, I was, chatting and playing games. And then got into graphic design and building websites. And so then I was using the computer with a purpose.
Yep.
And so when something went wrong, I learned how to troubleshoot by myself because it was like wasn't going to bring it to anybody at the time. This was in the 90s, early 2000s, of course. But I started teaching myself the ins and outs of it, and then you troubleshoot by yourself because that's part of the learning process. So I think there is that level of wanting to know, and these people, they're willing to take a class, but I'm just like, you know, I tell them, I says, like, the best place you can go is YouTube. I'm like, I could charge
Can't
you
argue with
from
it. Yeah.
I could charge you an arm and a leg. I could say this is what you need to know, but I'm like, I think you should just look at YouTube.
I think with that, the biggest disconnect there is, I think, with that age group is they don't, necessarily either get on YouTube or use it or know who to trust on there. So
Hmm.
for me, I was always thinking like you had the perfect setup too, is you offer one-on-one paid already. So it's like,
Hmm.
could I just do some sort of basic, like already have it recorded? You could do some sort of like screen recording and have it up on a projector or a TV and just be like, step one, this is just how to set up your iCloud account. Here, do this. And it's like a picture of the phone and like doing that and just having them walk through. You composite, make sure let them do just something basic. But then open it up to like, if you have more questions or anything like that, like after that basic tip, it's like we offer one-on-one course or class or meetings, anything like that. So if you want to get one of those, get with me after. We'll schedule something. I think it would open up more opportunity to get those one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But again, if you're already busy, it's not like something that it's,
It has been one of
necessarily.
my biggest requests, and it's been one of the things that I'm just like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like, I think maybe it would work if I had somebody that could help me create a syllabus and an outline of what I'm teaching and maybe help me prep
ChatGPT.
materials. Yeah, maybe.
ChatGPT.
I love ChatGPT. Yeah.
It'll do anything you want it to. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. And that, like I said, for me, I think about like what do I hear my guy complain about the most of what customers do. And it's typically most of them do not know their iCloud password. They set it
Yeah.
up once, they forgot it. And he always deals with having to try to get them to go through the resetting process. Then there's like so many hour, wait for Apple to get the email over or something. I don't know. It's a big process and it's just frustrating for an older generation. They don't understand it. Nobody told them to save the password. They don't know what they made it. So it's like, hey, documenting the password, even just like what we suggest you use. And even that being said, it's like, okay, what's a good password saving program that, like LastPass or whatever it may be, but can you get an affiliate for it? And then for anybody who signs up for it at that point that you're teaching these classes for, you're getting kickbacks from it as well. So there's different
Hmm.
ways I think to run in, ways to make money off of, helping people at the same time.
Right. Right.
People are cheap.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
When I used to own my AT&T stores, we actually did a training area, and we did like 101 classes, I think 2 nights a week, and the whole idea was like to bring people in to sell them,
Yep.
on top of that. And but then we explored like doing more advanced classes, and nobody paid for it. So
Yep. I definitely think it's specialized. That's why, it's you host that free basic one, just gets them, in the door, like you said. That's, if they either do or they don't, but there's always the couple people out there that are like struggling with something, I feel like, and it all obviously all depends. One
yeah.
guy I've talked to out in Colorado, he does if he does an onsite, he has like the minimum, 1 hour. So he's like, if I get it done in 30 minutes, he's like, hey, we have 30 minutes left. Is there something else I can help you with? Or is there anything else like I can maybe, give you some assistance with? Whatever it may be. Like you've already paid for the hour. Let's use it. Let's not like me just leave and burn it. Like let me help you. Like that always ends up making the customer want to do more business with me because like, wow, like you're not like my lawyer, charge me for an hour and talk to me for 5 minutes or something, and that builds that trust and gets a little bit more there. So I like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some like independent guys that, go around and do the device setups and training and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen too many shops that have been successful doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I just sent a shout out in the CRS, the cell phone repair shop talks that told everybody to join us. So trying to get some people,
Yeah.
to join us.
There is a little thing in the southeast of the country right now called a major hurricane that's
Yeah, I know.
might knock
Yeah.
I know
Friday
that's
afternoon. That's what my other
out.
worry was too. It's Friday afternoon. People are just like,
well, Monday's never a good day.
Yep. Busiest day,
Friday's
I
a
feel like.
icky. You know, Tuesday and through Thursday is kind of a toss up. I
Yep.
don't know. It's kind of a thing, but I think if you made it regular and just tried at least for a month, um, I think it would, people will come and go. They'll just know.
Yep.
They'll make a point to keep it on their calendar.
Yeah. That's why I was gonna try to put even a poll up, but like I thought about like every week just doing a different day time to see, let people just show up on their own, but keeping it the same so people also just know it's a set day and time. They'll go out of their way to hopefully try to clear it up too, though.
Yep.
Oh, we got somebody joining. Got a Chris joining.
Where I had to yank them away.
Oh
I figured
man, this
I
guy
figured I remind Chris.
in his new shop and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's muted though. He doesn't know how to unmute it. There
I
he
didn't
is.
get a new shop. I
Oh,
expanded to the next door place.
gotcha.
And I
I saw
have
some
a,
videos of it.
let's see, this is my new office.
Whoa.
Nice.
This is one huge room full of crap.
I think that's the room I saw the video of yesterday, or
And
one of them was like the eBay room.
this is the lab.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, we're set. And then we actually got approval for the landlord to put a door in. And I wrote up the contract myself. So we put a door in and knocked the wall out. So then our other side is over here.
Nice.
Dag. Nice.
Oh, there's somebody out there.
How much total space do you have now?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a little over 1,000.
Nice. Good little expansion for you then.
Yeah, it'll be a while before we need much more. Especially with me now being able to be 12 feet away from my employees.
There you go.
Hmm.
How's your week been?
Well, you know,
Besides
not
the
very not very good. My car is dying. My car is going through hell, and my dog is getting put down. So I've just, I've had a week, and I'm at work finally, and I'm massively behind. But just trying to push through it. I think as a business owner, I can't really make an excuse because people still are like, I need my damn phone or I need my iPad. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's rough.
no,
Sorry about
no
your dog.
excuses.
There you go.
As my
I had sur-
customer told me, it's not an excuse that my dog's dying. So
I mean, not to gross anybody out, but I had surgery yesterday.
Oh boy.
And I had to have a little implant replaced, but it was had it yesterday and took one day off, and here I am back at it. So
is anybody repairing anything right now?
no,
No,
I'm good right now.
I don't fix anything.
Cool. Is there a few people in here now?
No, just
I think
us
it's just
four.
4 of us.
Yep.
Trying to
Lonely.
get more people. Oh,
I'm doing a warranty on a 4th gen iPad. The touch went out in the middle.
4th gen iPad.
Yeah, the touch
Air?
went out in the
Maybe?
center of the
That's
iPad,
pretty
sadly.
old. Like original iPad or the
Gotta be
Air?
an
No,
Air.
4th gen Pro.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. Ah, man. That's a bummer. And then you got to do an RMA. I hate those.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't. It's weird. Like, I don't know if I feel like warranting it or not. Like, I can see an obvious pressure mark in the screen, but like the customer is a longtime, friend of our friend's dad of mine. So it's like it's tricky,
How
but
lo- how long has it been?
I honestly don't even know. We switched POSs at this year. I don't care enough to even look back at the ticket. It just we pretty much have lifetime warranty anyway, and we switched to that. So I mean, I don't care. I'll lose $1 to keep my customer because the way I see it, they'll be real upset if they have to pay another $300 repair for it. What did I come in here for?
It's been over a year. I usually tend to
Hey, we got another person.
question whether or not. I mean, the lifetime warranty I can understand if it's truly something that went wrong, but if there is a pressure point, that's when I would
It's very okay.
but
The pressure point is really hard. Like if I showed my techs this, they probably wouldn't even be able to see it. But just knowing, what I look for when I look for something, because obviously I'm the owner, and we do a lot more work and we try a lot more harder. The
Right.
pressure mark it's very small. That's the only reason why I feel like
How
I should
expensive are
warranty
those
it.
screens?
Oh, I don't know. I think we paid like 163.
Ugh.
But I charge the customer 100 plus the part times 1.2, so I'm probably decently covered, even if MS doesn't do it. And like I said,
Well.
they're a good customer, so they're coming back for me for warranty. So you could either warranty it, or you could tell your customer, go fuck yourself, you broke the screen.
Yeah.
So if it was cracked, like if there was a physical crack, then yeah, definitely. And even if there was lines or dots, yeah, definitely. But a small little pressure, like a tiny pressure point, really should not cause the touch to go completely out.
Yeah.
My thoughts, at least.
What is it, the 11-inch or 12-inch 4th gen?
Taking the L, 12.9.
Ah, brutal. Sorry.
Luckily, the screen's broken, so
Yeah.
I don't have to worry that much about getting it out. Although if I damage it too much, Mobile Centrics will say, hell no, we're not RMAing it.
Yeah.
Although I've had a good time with Mobile Centrics RMAing things, I really cannot talk much shit about Centrics. They have been really great. And Phone LCD parts has been really great too. And I've only used Injured a few times, but I don't really use them all that much.
I like the mobile centric website and interface a lot better than Injured, but I do give Injured. I mean, they've got good stuff, so I try to split my business almost as evenly as I possibly can.
Well, Phone
Sometimes
LCD
I'm like,
parts is great. They
I like their cases. I love Phone LCD cases. They have great cases. They're a great accessory vendor.
You guys are gonna hate me. I don't even sell cases anymore. I couldn't
have
even make back my
cases,
initial investment, so I gave up with cases, and now we sell laptops and RAM upgrades.
Yeah, no, I hate it. No, I agree.
Bro, I cannot state how much I hate phone cases. I bought some when I
I
first got
agree.
the shop, like 50 and 50. It was Kevin Lopez that hooked me up. It was like 50% cases, 50% tempered glass. But I got all these weird ass fucking models, all in different boxes with different origins and different brands and everything. And then like after a while, I was like, God, this is not the look I want for my store. It looks like a fucking flea market. And I just boxed them all up, I took them all home, and I replaced my case wall with a gaming PC bench that can showcase gaming PCs and monitors. So
Oh,
There you
nice.
go.
There you
We
go.
just do cell helmet, but we only stock like one color for the
man, I
newer
was thinking
models
about Cell
only.
Helmet, but honestly, man, like that CPR store opened up, God, about a year ago. We like, I'm not even gonna argue with it. We don't really get those repairs anymore, and we don't get the customers that want cases. We're also looked at as a general electronics repair shop. I don't think people think about. I mean, people know we do phone repair, but I don't think that's the first thing. I think when somebody types in cell phone repair, of course, CPR has that SEO going for them. So CPR is always going to get is going to reap the benefits of that, which is
Yeah,
fine. Everybody in my area has agreed that Chris can have the computers and the laptops. Nobody wants that. So, I'll stick to my thing.
Yeah.
good. So Laura and I were talking about earlier is a lot of people don't tend to work on computers as much as they do phones. A lot of people who came into this doing phone repairs have never done computer repairs or just don't do them.
So the people that like I have helped so many people do computer repair. People really need to start because you can
They do.
capitalize so much on like computers are just like like it's easy money. It really
It
is
is.
easy money,
But it is
especially
harder
if you
to
know what
get
you're
into
doing.
computer repair than it is the
Yeah.
flip side of it because there's so like it's like one person told me it's like you need to know everything and you kind of do. There's about 20 different manufacturers for computers. And then you're dealing with Windows 10 and 11. And that's if you don't want to if you are a computer shop that doesn't actually deal with XP, Vista, and 7 and 8, which I personally have drawn the line where I won't work on them. But I do know other computer shops that will still work on them.
Laura, you would cry with the computer that I just worked on for my client. They gave me a $50 tip on it. It was somewhat of a home call, pick up and drop off and install, but good client. They had a 2011 Mac Mini that I went through hell trying to get. It had to stay on the old firmware before they switched to Catalina. So, all these machines are all updated. It had to be on the old firmware. And she's using 12 to 15-year-old programs because one of her programs doesn't exist anymore and the other ones are
Oh
only
yeah, I've
subscription
seen that.
based. So
I recently just bought a bootable Mac OS installer that's got like 8 versions of Mac OS. It's a game changer for me.
I've seen
oh
the
my God,
people
you
selling
reminded
those in the
me.
groups.
I bought one and I haven't even used it yet.
It's a game changer, man. It's got every Mac OS I need on it. So if I have to go back to a really old version one, it's already there and easy to use.
It's awesome.
It's
Yeah, I've
worth
seen
the
a few people selling
$50.
those. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was
that's
worth the
well worth
$50.
it.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
well worth it.
Okay, honestly, respect to the people that are hustling that, but not respect to the people that are trying to like hustle after somebody already posted and then trying to charge more, being like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm literally
No, that was
not
ridiculous.
respect to those people. It's like somebody posted those for 55 and someone's like, oh yeah, I got one for 85, but it's an
Yeah.
SSD, and you're like, God, like we don't give a fuck if it's an SSD or if it's a flash drive. Like it doesn't matter. We just like
Yeah. No, it was the mine. I think I paid $50 for it, but it was well worth it. Like I said, I think it's got like 8 OS. I don't remember. I have to look back.
Is it a little flash drive?
Yeah, it's just a little flash drive.
Yeah.
So now I got it, and now it's a part of my flash drive collection, which I've got I got my Medicat one, and I've got Malwarebytes Toolbench. That one I really like. That's $300 a year, but with the Toolbench, I get 25 serials of like resellable serials for Malwarebytes, so I can resell Malwarebytes included with that, so I can make that $300 back.
Yep.
But one of the things that I like about the Malwarebytes Toolbench is that it's got Malwarebytes portable, and then it's got an issue scanner, so it'll automatically check the errors log and the drive, and then do any repairs if necessary, or tell me if the drive is failing.
So
and then
Malwarebytes is the correct tool to use, 100%.
Yep. And then it's got the one of the things that I love about it's got the laptop battery health information, which you can't find a really good tool. Like that's the best one that I've found out there so far. All the other ones are crap. But this one actually gives me a percentage of the battery health of the laptop battery, and I can correctly identify if the laptop battery needs to be replaced.
That's awesome.
I think it's hard
What?
selling computers because with computers, you almost have to. It's hard because you don't want to charge for no solution. It's not like it's not like that where you have your diagnostic rate, right? But on a computer, it's like, okay, you're having a blue screen. Great. Okay, we've exhausted this many hours realizing that, your blue screen is not, hardware related or software related. So with computers, I feel like it is hard to be profitable with computers. You really have to start understanding the tricks and the keys. And like Laura said, and I will challenge her flash drive collection. But you really have to have a lot of these tools ready to go out. But you make so much money. Like we just did a house call 165 an hour where we went out. We were there 15, 20 minutes. We reset the Windows password, and that was that. And of course, we didn't charge them the 165. We obviously discounted it a little bit for them. But it's really stuff like that. Now,
your on-site rate definitely is higher than mine. Mine's at 100 an hour.
So,
but I've done it where it's like I'm out there 5-10 minutes. I think I was like, most of them are printer related setup issues, and it takes me 5 minutes to fix it.
So 2 IT businesses are shutting down at the end of the year. One already reroutes 90% of their clients to me because they just hate dealing with consumers. They deal with businesses only. The other one only deals with businesses only, and he is retiring at the end of the year. I have dinner with him like every couple weeks, and he is rerouting his client base to me. But with that being said, he said that I had to raise my rate, which I was 125 an hour for house calls and whatnot, but he said that I had to raise my rate to 165 an hour for the house calls. Because he didn't want his clients to think that he was overcharging or, have any animosity once he retires or anything like that. So kind of interesting, but we also realized clients didn't really care if it was 165 or 165 an hour.
They're just not happy bitching that when you raise. Yeah, if they're not
they're
bitching,
just happy that their issue is solved. That's it. They just want their fucking computer to work.
I do get some that will back off the on-site visit once I tell them my rate is $100 an hour. Others are happy to pay it. Yep. And if they're happy to pay it, but otherwise I have had some people kind of back off, but that's because I feel like the issue can be solved. Like they can either solve it themselves.
You charge $100 an hour?
Minimum, 1 hour minimum. So it's $100 no matter.
5 in there somewhere. Even if you charge $115 an hour, or even if you charge $125 an hour, that $100 an hour just looks like they're like, oh, okay, well, I just want to come here, do something, make $100. But once you add, there is a difference with that. It's just like the 99 versus the prices of stuff.
We're at 150. And I think a lot of people, like you said, that they are hesitant, but I also think it depends on the issue. There's the side of honesty at the same time of, like you say, like a lot of printer issues. Half the time, if it's a printer thing, it's like, well, is it cheaper for you just to get a new printer than me to sit out there and troubleshoot it? Depending on like what the actual issue is. Like that's how those customers end up looking at it. They're like, oh, well, I can just go buy a new printer.
Well, that's why I always ask them, is it a networking issue or is it a hardware issue? Because if it's an actual print, like if the printer is not printing or there's something physically wrong with the printer, then you're absolutely right. Sometimes it's a networking issue, though. I think it was like 2 weeks ago I went out to somebody's house and they were just out of ink. That's all it was. I was like, oh, well, it's out of ink. That's why it's not printing. That's why it's, or it was printing. It was like blank pages or something like that. But it was like, it's out of ink. So I pulled the ink out and I said, this is what you need to order. And if I wish I could sell ink because honestly, or had an ink vendor, like a printing ink vendor, because
there's some money there.
I'm in a rural town. I'm about 25 miles from the nearest like city, as you would call it, where you're nearest Walmart, Best Buy, etc. And so they would either they have to go all the way to the city to grab their ink or order it offline. And I have had so many people come into my store asking me for ink, and I would definitely be making a ton of money if I could sell ink.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy how quick those
fuck
inkjet
ink.
printers go through.
Seriously, why did I walk back and we're talking about printers? Like,
No, it's like saying I get a
not
lot of
repair
people.
desk?
No, I get a lot of people asking me if I sell ink. And I think I could make a ton of money if I just sold ink. Because I think
God,
people would buy it. But I'm in an area where
God,
they
fuck
have to
that.
drive really far to go out and buy printer ink. So for me, it would make sense.
Fuck printer ink. I think with computers, I think the biggest thing that can be said is you need to learn a lot with computers. But I think with computers, you need to be prepared to lose a little bit of money. And we mean
Yeah.
that in the sense as there's some shops that are charge the person $60 to clean out their charge port on their phone. Okay, occasionally we do it for a full device cleaning if it's really bad, or sometimes we'll do it for free. It really depends. We fill out the situation. For computers, sometimes somebody just comes in and their fucking browser is just on full screen, right? And you're like, okay, you're good to go. And they're like, what's the charge? And you're like, nothing. And there is a lot of that with computers, but doing that builds the trust so that when you're ready, you can start charging your clients more, or so that you can charge your rate when there's an actual repair. They come,
Right.
you help them out with the little stuff, and they come back to you for the really big stuff that actually pays really well, and that is a huge part of computers.
Yeah, I only charge $25 for charge port cleaning. That's about it, and that's if it's really, really bad. So, and I've had some bad ones lately because I get people that, like I said, we're in a rural area, but we get like farmers that come in, and then they're working outside, doing trees, hauling hay, things like that. So they get some really grime in their charge ports because they put them in their pockets and then, or their pants pocket. Yeah, they get some grime in their
We've got
phones.
the Mexicano population where we're at, so those hard workers, they always my guy, the people around here are always looking for a deal. Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, we're all looking for a deal. We go to the grocery
Yeah.
store, we go, okay, we want the cheapest option. So I get it. What we try to do is we charge high, but we go out of our bounds to try to solve their problem. And that's what we tell people. We go, we have a little bit of a higher charge. I go, but we go above and beyond to try to solve your problem. Whether or not it has to be sent out, whether or not we have to fix it ourselves, we really shoot for that. And that, I think, is what has helped us out the most, is really just taking care of people and not just charging for every little thing. If sometimes somebody needs a charge port on their thing, sometimes I won't even tell them on if they need a charge port or something when we're doing a battery instead. I'm like, okay, well, just whatever. But it's case by case, and when you take care of your customers, they will 100% take care of you. And that's what you'll hear from all of the other cell phone stores. You'll also, hear about charge higher rates, and you won't have troublesome customers. We don't have troublesome customers anymore. Occasionally we have the person that's like, but we all have those.
You
The
have
same.
people coming in saying they're hacked. Don't lie.
So yes, we do.
Well, I think that's all
We-
about educating customers because nobody's
We
ever
do refer them
hacked.
to the
I
FBI.
know.
We do not deal with hacked people anymore. We just say, hello, sorry, we are unequipped to deal with hacked email accounts. I go, we can help you reset your password if you have two-factor authentication on. And then, we try to help people. And we charge them $60 an hour too. We don't, I told my team, I was like, man, I have to pay you guys a lot of money. Like, you guys have to charge people when you're out front. I go, because this knowledge is not free. I go, you guys have spent time and money learning.
That's probably the biggest issue I get. So tell me if anybody has this problem. So I have a part-time assistant. She does a really great job. She works with customers. I've had this problem even myself when I first started out. But you start troubleshooting an issue with a customer, and before you know it, you're neck deep in that troubleshooting when you should have already been checking them in.
Sorry, what was your question? I walked away.
I said, so you start troubleshooting a customer's issue, and this happens to me, but it also can happen to my tech. So it happens to the best of us. But you start troubleshooting a customer's issue prior to checking them in. And then suddenly you're neck deep checking them or troubleshooting the issue, solving their problem right there in front of them when you should be checking it in.
So
and
that's
sending them
hard.
away,
Yeah.
and then dealing with the problem, and it's like that's one of probably the biggest issues I've had. It's just because that sometimes it's like, no, we need to just stop right here, like we've identified the problem. Now we check them in, and then we send them away.
Yep.
Then we solve their issue.
So something that really changed the game for us is when we have somebody come in like that, we can say something like, "Hey, no problem. I would be happy to help you out. It would be $30 for 30 minutes or $60 for the full hour. Often in this time we can, pretty much usually get you taken care of. And I'll tell you, we rarely do 30 minutes because people take 60 fucking minutes of our time all the time. But that's once again part of being
But if I did that, I wouldn't have any time to do actual repairs that are sitting on my tech bench.
So unfortunately, that is the part where you have to start weighing the balance for you, especially. I've got my 2 employees now that both work full time, but I have to do things to keep them busy so I can get them paid. Refurbing back glass, whatnot. It might be time for you to explore some other avenues where you could add, and then add possibly get that employee to have some more time to be able to chat with that person, or train your employee to be able to do the repairs that you can't. Like, I'm trying to teach my employee currently how to repair iPad Pros, because every iPad Pro that comes in, they're just done. They get stuck on. They're just like, Chris, iPad Pro here, and then like they're just broken.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to do all my tablet and my phone repairs. But my assistant, I've got her pretty good on the computers. She's doing a really good job, start to finish. She's been doing screen repairs, like or LCD repairs on the laptops and SSDs, and the triage stuff, but operating system installs, things like that. So she's really good at doing the computer start to finish now. Only a few times do I have to step in and direct her, advise her in that area, but otherwise it's good. I'm about ready to teach her Samsungs and tablets for phone repair and then tablet repair, or at least just removing the screen, getting it to a point where I can start, jumping right into it.
You teach your employees? I just give my employees a stack of things and say, here, they're all broken. Open them all up and figure out how they work. That's how my employee learned how to fix his first iPad.
Well, I walk her through it, and then I give it to her. But,
yeah.
Or I tell her, go look up a YouTube video. That's what I did with the game consoles. I said, here, go watch this YouTube video how to take apart an Xbox. So now she does all my Xbox teardowns, which is like a huge time saver for me. So then I don't have to worry about that.
They take forever, don't they? And they're like a ton of screws for those.
Oh my god, it's like the worst part of the game console repair is the teardown and the reassembly. It's like for an HDMI, it takes me 2 seconds, and then you got the teardown, but the teardown and the reassembly, it's like 45 minutes.
So, Laura, I know we have been needing to chat for a while. I don't even touch my consoles anymore, and it is probably the best feeling. I put my one employee through Ben's class. Obviously he needed lots of hands-on help. I think the scariest part is when you let go of your hands and you say, okay, here, you try it. Your first customer board, you try it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, fuck, I ripped pads or something like that. Luckily I get to say, oh, it's okay. We'll just repair the pads because I can repair them.
I should send you the picture of what I did to my last Xbox Series X. I had to send that one out. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to recover from this one. I really damaged it. It was bad. But, that's my fault. And so I fixed the problem and I'll eat the cost. And it's part of the learning process. But, the next one eventually I do get them. I do. There's some HDMI ports I can do, but the Xbox Series X was just needed a little more heat.
Series X, my one employee has a lot of trouble with. The Series X is a fucking bitch. It
was not coming off, and I was like, holy cow. And so when I asked Ben, it was like right after, I was like, shoot, man, I should have asked him before it started.
Guys,
I got a little too cocky with that one.
I'm taking the L.
If it doesn't come off like butter, then don't pull on it.
Yep.
Hey,
that's the cardinal rule for soldering is don't yank on it.
So I'm checking this RMA out, and when I last repaired it, I somehow bent this flex cable. So I realized that. I also inserted the Face ID screw corner. So I am guessing this has probably been over a year since I repaired this, because I've made a lot of progress in a year, but.
Well, I guess then that is a warranty repair.
Oh, I mean, this is like, I open this up, and if I open this up from another company, I'd be very displeased. I'm so mad at myself right now.
But yeah, there's been ones that I'm happy. Like I had a customer come in, was it the other day? He wanted me to replace his speakers, and so I replaced his I don't know what he got into his speakers, but they weren't working. They were jacked up. And so replaced it was in a Samsung S21 Plus. Placed the ear speaker, loudspeaker, sounds great. Now he comes back and he's like, "Hey, my Bluetooth's not working." And I'm like, "Well, exactly what's going on?" He's like, "It won't. It's connecting, but it won't stay connected. It keeps dropping." So, I'm like, you could tell he was upset. He wasn't quite like right out asking for a warranty repair, but I was like, I'm not even worried about that, man. I'm like,
Exactly. Just eat the
I,
cost. Even if
yeah, it's
you're
like
not going to send that
$5. I'm
one
like,
cent.
don't worry about it. I'm like,
Yep.
I'll take care of it. We'll get the part ordered. I says, I just, we'll figure it out. Like, and I'm not going to even worry about it because it's like, it's a $5 car. It's a $5 part. I'm just going to replace it.
I swear to God, if most shops would think that way, then we would be doing a lot better than people asking if they should warranty something on
Well, no,
CPRST
I
all
mean,
the
it's just
time.
like, I didn't touch it. I didn't take anything else out. I don't know how the Bluetooth would have been impacted, but I'm like, you know what? I didn't, it's not like you can really, like, you can test to make sure Bluetooth connects, but you don't keep it connected long enough to make sure it stays connected. So,
No, but you did everything right. You did a repair. You charged good enough for the repair that if there was a small issue that came up, that you were able to just take care of that
absolutely.
issue.
I think I
Like
charged
that's
them
the same way we do it.
160. Yeah,
Yeah.
I charged them like 160. So, yeah, if I have to buy another $5 part, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue.
I know you're in an area that's allowed to charge that.
Yeah, I am like I said, higher end middle class area. Yep. And there's no other break fix shops around me. Well, there is one right up the road from me. But like I said, we have enough business that we both survive and thrive. I mean, when I got into business, I think he was ready to pull his hair out. I think he was happy I was going into business.
Hey,
Man,
I got a funny story while we on this call. I just
Go
opened up
ahead.
a S22 Ultra charging port. That thing used as all get out from Mobile
Ooh,
Centrics.
we
I should go blast them in the group. Now I'm joking. I don't even do that kind of stuff, man. Mistakes happen. We make mistakes. They make mistakes. I'm about to put this in my RMA, but I think in the industry we just got to be more understanding of people in the industry making mistakes because ain't nobody perfect in this industry. Just my little
hey, for
tidbit.
real.
My little tidbit on this, man. Ain't nobody perfect. So yeah, this going
Yep.
RMA. Just a funny story to share with y'all on here. I opened it up. I'm like, hold on, is this the right one? I'm thinking I put the customer's one in the bag already. Nope. This is what came in.
How bad was it?
Oh, it's bad. It's dirtier than the one that's coming out of the customer's phone.
Oof.
It's bad.
Oh boy.
Somebody got me. Somebody got Mobile Centric. They probably didn't open it up.
Bro, that I can't believe how I can't believe how common that is that people are I've never gotten the wrong part in a package or nothing in the package, but apparently that's decently common. That sucks. But it seems like it's only common over on the East Coast though.
I'm on the East Coast, bro. So yeah, might be.
Yeah, I can't say I haven't had anything too bad, but I have had some duds every once in a while.
Oh yeah, of course. And that's
Uh,
part of the game. Just like humans make errors.
my
Nobody's
funny
perfect.
story, my funny story a while back ago. This was when I first started out. I was maybe an open 3 months or maybe 3 4 months. I hadn't even taken official training for cell phone or tablet repair, and I got this iPad Air 3 in, and I ordered the part from Mobile Centrics or Injured Gadgets. I can't remember which. It was one of the two. And I had never taken, I mean, I'd taken maybe one iPad apart prior to that, but this was the first one that was the glass and the LCD fused. And I, the customer's screen, her original screen was cracked, but the touch was still working. And so she had been using it like this for a while. And so, but she was still getting display and she was still getting it. So she decided, I had opened up. She said, since you're now open, I'd like to get this fixed. And so charged her a good amount of money because that screen was pretty expensive. And so, And this was, of course, 3 years ago. So
I was about to say, you charge in the beginning when you don't know how to open the screens. You're like, okay, I have to charge you the full fucking price of the screen. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no, I charged her quite a bit but she paid it. She was good. And then I get the screen in, and I go to do the repair, and the screen's not working. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong? I broke her freaking iPad. I'm gonna have to buy a new iPad. And I'm like flipping out. I'm like, screw. So I'm like, again, I barely had furniture in my store. I mean, it was like I didn't have nothing on my windows. I had a banner out for a sign, for an exterior sign. So I barely had anything. So I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm freaking out. I messed up her thing. And so I said, you know what? I'm shutting the store down. I'm going to go to a competitor. I don't care. I brought it down to Batteries Plus. Again, I'm brand new in the business.
Well, Batteries Plus is great.
And so I went down to Batteries Plus, and I hand them the iPad, and I said, hey, I'm just trying to do this repair. And I said, I'm not getting a display. This is a brand new screen. So they're like, all right, we'll take it into the back. They come back out. They said it's a logic board issue. There's nothing we can do. So while they were doing that, I went into one of the cell phone repair groups. I think it was the CPRST group. And I went into the group and I said, this is, I described my issue. And somebody said, well, put the original screen back on. See if it works. So I go in my car. I'm still like freaking out. I'm like, a logic board issue. Like, what did I do to the logic board? Did I press too hard? Did I fuck something up? Like, I was like freaking out. I get back to the shop and I put her original screen back on. It comes back on. The damn screen that Mobile Centric sent me was a dud. And all Batteries Plus said was, oh, sorry, man. It's a logic board issue. Nothing we could do. It told me a lot about that freaking Batteries Plus. I was like, oh, man, they are not competitors. They suck. They didn't even take the screen off and put a new one on.
Batteries Plus can be very considered Walmart in a sense. I have talked to them. I've talked to the manager. I've talked to the district manager. But they are a flipping cash cow if you're an independent store, and if you just say, "Hey, we can fix anything. Here's some donuts." They're just happy to send you like 60% of their business because they have so many flipping rules. They can't touch Androids unless they're doing they can't touch Androids unless they're doing batteries. They're not allowed to work on any iPad Pro models.
Really? There's that many restrictions?
What?
They have that many restrictions in place?
Yeah, Batteries Plus is just like Batteries Plus is a lot of business. So I got nothing bad to say about them. But yes, they are a highly restricted business.
Well, they're corporate, and
they can only use their parts too, which are absolutely garbage.
Oh yeah, the Raven. What is it? The Ravik batteries.
Oh my God! I don't know why people recommend batteries. I don't know how they're so big. I don't know.
What's even weirder? What's even weirder is the fact that they use those, but like they get parts from either IG or MS. So like I don't know why they wouldn't use their batteries.
I don't know where you heard that Batteries Plus gets parts from IG or MS. I know mine does not.
I mean, I may have worked at one of the places before.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. The place they told me, they said that they had to get them from their main distribution warehouse. So maybe,
They don't know they're buying from there. They don't know they're buying from there. It's like front ended to where it looks like they're buying from Batteries Plus typically. So Batteries Plus corporate takes a piece of it. They get a kickback in a sense.
I'm wondering if they rebrand the batteries that they buy.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised. I mean, I know they've bought from IG too, which they may buy from IG. They've bounced around from supplier to supplier. They were with MD for a while too, but they get custom kind of front end of MS designed for them, so it looks like Batteries Plus parts or whatever it may be or something like that. So the stores think they're buying from the distribution, but it's coming, white label drop ship from MS in a sense, or IG for that matter. It just depends on who it is, where it is. But I know they've been
good
around.
Insight.
That's but they may insight. They may not be required to order from there either. They may have freedom to order certain things. So, but yeah, I've always wondered that about the batteries because I know they have to order from one of the big guys for the regular parts. So.
I mean, I got nothing bad to say about them. They call me. They really do give it their honest shot. I'm appreciative for companies that actually give it a shot and don't just say, "Yep, it's broken." You know, sometimes
Well,
they'll even tell me it pulls this on the amp meter, and I'm like, oh, like, that's a step. Wasn't expecting you to be able to tell me that information.
yeah. I mean, I think that goes with any franchise, though. At the same time, right? Like, I mean,
It
it's
also
the
probably
owner
depends
can
on the
afford.
tech.
Yeah,
Well, it depends on their
exactly.
tech and their training too. And then again, I worked briefly, years ago, almost 10 years ago now, at the Geek Squad for maybe like 6 months.
Oh yeah, I
Dang.
And
remember you
Well,
told me
I
you
did for
told
like
me
six
about that.
years.
so I was just a front end, Geek Squad tech. I wasn't even the back end one. But you know, they don't teach you. It's all kind of like even the back end ones. It's like they don't teach them. They expect you to know what to do and how to fix the computers
Yep.
when you come in.
Of
And
course, they're corporate. Yeah.
and so it's like whatever tricks you can pull to do it and the troubleshooting that you have to, like, it's like sometimes we were back there having like a little powwow discussions like, well, have we gone through this, have we tried this, have we, because that's the managers had nothing to provide for input, and I was just like, well, this teaches me a lot about how Geek Squad works and about exactly what people go through. And then so it just taught me a lot that sometimes it really does depend on the store that you go to and what people know. And that's why if you go to 10 different Batteries Plus, CPRs, or Geek Squads, you're going to get 10 different answers for the same question.
CPR seems to have a fucking amazing way of running their shit. Every CPR owner I talk to and store, like, they're all successful. Like CPR, I don't feel like CPR allows you to be unsuccessful.
I was zoned out. I didn't even hear you. But
I was saying that CPR stores are always so perfect, and the owners, I mean, obviously they go through struggles and everything, but all of the CPR people I talk to are extremely successful and run extremely successful stores. Even the new one that came into town and just absolutely started crushing it compared to, everybody else. And I
where are
feel
you
like
at?
that's all. What?
Where are you at again?
I'm in Oregon, and we had a
That's
new
what I thought.
CPR location. The biggest CPR store is in Eugene. Like, that's supposed to
Really?
be the
That's
highest
Britt
grossing
Bay.
store.
Britt Bay.
Yeah, he's the owner of the Salem one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, same with Batteries Plus. Same goes for that. I mean, I think that it's all dependent on the owner, how hungry they are, and how willing to adapt they are. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of CPRs that may be struggling or barely getting by or have closed, but I also know from whenever I sold parts back in like 2014 that a lot of CPR owners are they're slowly phasing out, but I call them a 401k owner, where it was somebody who had a corporate job with, some retirement money that they thought that a franchise like this was going to be an easy money maker. They were going to print money, get paychecks, not have to do anything. They got into this business with no knowledge. Now they're like, crap, this isn't as easy as that. So there was a big shift of those type of owners into, I think, this gen, where you're seeing people like Britt Bay or Tushan,
Robert
like that.
Miranda, for real.
Robert, yeah, he's got like four
Robert gave
stores
me
now.
some advice that he said I was not allowed to share with anybody, but it's probably one of the most helpful things I've ever learned and changed a
Robert's
lot of
smart.
stuff. He's a smart cookie, and he just bought up all of those fucking stores. He's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And Tushan is out of this world with his customer
Man,
service.
you'll never
That
find
dude's on
anybody hungrier
levels.
than Tushan.
Huh?
So y'all don't think you'll find anybody hungrier than Tushan. That guy is a
Bro, I
beast.
told him for so long, I would tell him, I was like, bro, you're my inspiration. You're why I post all these computers. You're why, because I can make it because I see you. And dude, he gave me a lot of inspiration to do what I do. I copied a lot of his ways, and he's
I mean,
good, man.
he's a good example too. I mean, he does stuff that, I say I wish more people would do. I mean, that includes me, but like he does the backpack stuff for school in his community every year where they get hundreds of backpacks from different
Mm-hmm.
businesses. They get money put
Mm-hmm.
together. How much business does that probably bring him in recognition? Whether all this money is donated
Sure.
from either him or multiple businesses willing to throw in, everybody wins, and it's just like a big sponsored event. And you're also helping the community at the same time. Like it's a win-win.
I think next year I will be doing the I think next year we're gonna be doing the backpacks and whatnot. I think I'm gonna shoot for that. I think the last 2-3 years, obviously we're still a little bit young compared to, some of these other places, but I think I wanted to get into doing the backpacks and the giveaways and that kind of thing. And I don't know, create a way for, people who don't have as much money to get their device fixed or something like that. It's always good ways. Customer service goes a long way in this industry, and taking care of people, because that one person, if they tell 5 people, maybe you lose money on them helping them out, but if they tell 5 people, those 5 people come into you, it's endless. It's literally endless amounts of referrals.
100%. Yeah, it's the best way to connect with people in the community who may not have been your customer yet or knew you were there. It's depending on how big your city is or town.
I gave you yesterday.
Tons of people that don't know you're there still, no matter how small or big you are, or how long you've been there. I've got friends who've got stores for 5 or 6 years that still have customers that come in and say, "Oh, I didn't know you were here," but yet they've been there for so long, and they still feel like that they're getting new customers on a daily basis.
Not even sure how that's a thing. It's so funny to me. I'm like, how did you not know we're here? Like, everybody knows about us, but like, it's every day. Sorry, we didn't know you were here, or we would have come to you first. Like, it's like, ugh.
I'm still new, so I can't say that shocks me that people are still finding out about me. But I mean, I have been here for 3 years now. So it's still,
3 years.
I'm like, but I'm still such a baby that I'm just like,
3 years is nothing compared to
yet.
some of these goats in this industry. Some of these guys have been really going for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah. We do live in a small town, so I do kind of give some people a hard time. I'm like, well, you drive by me daily. Like, how can you miss me? Like, do I need bigger signage? I mean, I had a 15-foot flag out there at one point. I'm like...
That's like my friend. He's like, I'm in a 4-way big intersection, major. T-Mobile's like a couple doors down on my strip. He's like, we've got a big sign out there on the corner. He's like, people are sitting at that stoplight all the time, all day. And there's still people.
Yeah, I'm at a 4-way stop, like there's a 4-way stop right in front of my shop. So it's like, not like people are whizzing by at like 60 miles an hour. It's literally 30 miles an hour. People are braking to come to a stop. So, I mean, they're only going maybe 15 mile-an-hour max by the time they're passing my store, max, because it's like I said, we're right at a 4-way stop. So they're probably slowing down to almost 5 miles an hour.
Now, Josh, you don't have retail anymore, do you? Am I mistaken on that? Do you still have a retail store?
I mean, I don't have anything to do with it other than just being here physically and helping with some of the stuff on the back end.
That's what I always thought about you, is that you owned a store, but I knew that you weren't like super crazy involved in it. You're just the owner, and you have somebody that runs it then?
Yeah, my friend, he runs it, owns it, yeah, he does everything. I just handle and help with some of the back end stuff.
And then you just work with Ad Central or work for Ad Central, or?
Yep. So I have an office in the back of our shop. We have a interesting setup here, so
Are you a graphic designer there, or what do you actually do at Ad Central?
I oversee our team of designers and kind of do a lot of the like marketing and like social media side of things.
He's an advertiser for sure. Definitely. Somebody that brings a lot of people in and directs them to the right place.
I actually saw a sign. This is a completely different industry, but we were driving to the cities yesterday, and I saw this sign that said, it was like, man, now I'm going to forget it too. I knew I should have written it down when I saw it, because I said, that would be a really good interest, is like, don't DIY, don't be a DIYer, like, or can't figure it out as a DIYer or something. And it was like, bring it to us, like, or the pros. And it's like, dang, that would be really good for the computer industry, for advertising. I was like, but I got to get going because I got a customer coming in. But real quick, I did want to ask the professionals here. I got a 14 iPhone here, just a regular 14. The back glass was damaged, and then the speaker was damaged. There's a puncture mark like right here.
What's your issue you're having with it?
It's still not powering on. This was the speaker. That's the puncture mark in it.
Do you have a DCPS?
But it's when I plug it into power, it does get amps. Number one.
What's your amperage?
It's jumping. It's going from 0.06 to 0.09, 1.2, 2.0, and then it jumps right back down to 6. So it's like 6, 9, 1.2, and it's
Okay. Do you have a DC power supply?
I do, but 1 second, it gets really hot right here at the bottom on the LCD.
On the LCD?
On the LCD, it gets really hot.
OLED
here.
or LCD?
Well, whatever this screen is.
So
it's the original screen. So it's probably OLED, but yeah. The screen gets really
getting
hot,
hot at the bottom of the display.
Yeah.
Is that
right
when
here.
it's plugged in or just in general?
When it's plugged in.
Okay. Test with the new charge port. First test with the new charge port. Actually, before I even pull the board out, I would connect it to a DC power supply to see if you're getting any sort of amp draw before prompt to boot. And then prompt to boot just to see if it starts, if you see like a normal boot consumption. If it's normal boot consumption, you know there's no board problem.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
And then you can start narrowing down what parts.
Because I wasn't sure if I need to order a screen and replace the screen. The housing's good.
No, do you have a good housing?
What do you like
an own good in?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, start with boot consumption and go from there. That's what I would do before I pull the board.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Leif, correct me if I'm wrong, but we would check the boot consumption by directly connecting to the motherboard, not connecting to the iPhone's charge port, right?
Correct. Yeah. Boot consumption, you're going to check at the battery.
I'll have to get a 14
Laura, I'll send you a
connector.
Laura, I'll send you a thing I bought from China. It's just a little connector for DCPS, and it has all the little battery connectors, and then you can just
I own one.
Do you have one with a 13?
I might.
If you got a 13 cord, the 14 will be fine.
Yeah, this is 13/mini Pro
good.
PM. So this works?
Yeah, it'll work on the 14.
Oh, good. Yay.
Just make sure it's plugged in the right way, or else you're going to get a draw before prompt to boot.
I know. I feel like going back to what I said to Josh earlier, it says, there's a lot of things in this industry that you can buy. They're just absolutely worthless. But this is one that is not. And I feel like I have gold with this. I could sell this for $500 and I guarantee I'd get it.
If they would standardize the cables, that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any issues, with that, feel free to PM me. I can.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I can give you some advice, and then, if you end up sending out, I don't know if you're working with somebody, but I can get you a quote on B2B as well.
Yeah, no, I've got the back glass for it. I got a new battery because I was going to replace the battery, but I haven't had a chance to power it on, so I didn't know if the battery was bad, so I haven't pulled the battery out. But I do have a battery for it if I need to replace it.
What did you say it punctured?
Well, I have to replace the speaker. It punctured the back glass and then the speaker. Okay. That's why I wasn't sure if it had damaged the screen or the display because of how bad this was punctured. Because I was like, well, maybe it damaged the screen something.
Hey, probably. I mean, there's always a chance.
Because the board
for you guys.
Hot. The board doesn't get hot. Just the screen gets hot.
Question for you guys. This is a new screen from MS. We put it on to do the warranty, and of course, right after I glue it together, I noticed that there's a slight white pressure dot right there. It's very noticeable, but noticeable. Would you guys order a new MS screen, or would you guys give it to your customer? Display is fully functional and like 99% good.
Do you think the customer would notice it?
I don't know.
What's the issue?
I'm just curious. It has a small pressure mark on the screen, and it's a premium screen from MS. Just trying to decide if I should rip this off and order a new one, or if I should just leave it.
Call them, offer a discount.
That's what I was saying. If it's really noticeable, I mean, sometimes it's like I've seen issues where it's only noticeable on like a bright white screen, like with notes or something like that. Like if it's not noticeable, otherwise, like I've seen people just throw it in dark mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just throw their thing in dark mode, and they'll never notice it.
Wait, he's totally right though. He went away. That's fucked.
Usually if they're not that bad, that's usually the way to go. Because especially on that, like it's not worth trying to take it all back apart, especially if you got sealed.
I'm like, I tested it, made sure that the touch worked, but did not bother to actually check the LCD.
But you could turn it back on and take a picture of it, and then send that picture to Mobile Centrics and maybe argue for a partial credit.
I was just gonna make a Facebook post in the group saying how
Yeah.
bad Mobile Centrics was and about how
Shit
shitty
on
they've been.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my pizza. I'm ready to call them up. Somebody said, just call them up and say, well, oh, somebody told me they were getting me pizza, but they haven't come yet.
Oh, don't call them up. You'll get it eventually.
You'd be surprised how many people called and asked for it, and then like were truly upset. Like it was a daily basis. People like were just truly upset, and they felt like it was
Seriously?
like targeted against them. Like, why are you not saying? Like, why is everybody else like? First of all, I think you guys underestimate how many repair shops there actually are, and how random this really is. Like, of course you might not win. You might never win the lottery either, but like the pizza just shows up one day. Like nobody's asking for it and getting it unless you're just that big of a dick and you're a crybaby. But like it just
Dude,
happens.
I could never imagine having the audacity to call somebody up and say, "Why didn't I get a free fucking pizza?"
Seriously, holy
Like,
shit.
who says that?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
The level of entitlement is, I mean, it's pretty obvious in the group sometimes, the level of
Oh
entitlement.
yeah.
But to actually like portray that to somebody, an individual,
They better
know?
never send
Only
chocolate ever again. That is all I have to say. Them sending chocolate was the dumbest thing I think I've seen a company do in a long
they've
time.
always done it though. I think it was just bad timing when they sent it to places like with high heat and they didn't consider that. But they've always
Dude,
sent like
even
chocolates
Oregon was
different
at like
times.
95 degrees that day when we received this box of melted chocolate. We opened it up and we were like, what the fuck? And we had a package.
You should talk to the Mobile Centrics meteor or yeah, meteor guy, meteorologist.
Yeah, meteor.
Moderator.
Meteorologist.
He meant to say meat eater. Meteor.
Meteorologist.
Meteorologist.
They're the ones predicting the weather.
Yeah.
Josh,
All
are you
right,
gonna
guys.
do that? Are you gonna do this call every week?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
If we could have more intelligent people, aka the CPR store owners, join and give us their useful advice, that would be fantastic. But I doubt that Robert or Tushan or Tony Kushnick or any of them
Robert
have this
who?
time.
I'm just curious.
I could try Greg Allison into this. Allison might come.
There you go.
Chris, which Robert are you talking about?
Miranda.
Robert Miranda. Well, I mean, I know a few
Don't ever
Roberts,
talk to him.
but not CPR stores.
Yeah.
We'll try to grab Allison. She'd be a really good one to pry into this.
They have like nuggets of information. That's all I have to say. They got like nuggets.
Yeah.
And they'll give you a nugget. They won't give you the full thing.
Right.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll see you later.
Sounds
Thanks for
good.
the
See ya.
conversation.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop off here as well.
I'm gonna leave too. Bye.
All right. Guys, have a good weekend.